There's two ways to sew buttons on with the Pfaff Select 4.2 sewing machine. The easiest way to do it is to select a zigzag stitch, so G, set the stitch width between 3 and 4 millimeters. I'm going to do 3.5, needle position in the center, and then you can put the stitch length to 0, but let me show you a trick. I like to actually lower the feed dogs. Then that way those feed dogs aren't trying to if they're at 0, they still touch the bottom of my fabric. But if I open up the bobbin case door, the lever to lower the feed dogs are right here. So let's just slide them to the right. Now they're lowered. Doesn't matter where this is. And then when we're done, don't forget to put that back. Re-engage it, otherwise sewing, well, you have no sewing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. You can find that most your buttons are the stitch width of about 3.5 millimeters wide. Yes, even a big one and a small one overlapped. You can see right through them. It's kind of an optical illusion. Now you can do this with a presser foot on, but sometimes that's actually hard to see. Do you know you can actually take the foot off and set this, here we'll do the blue one here, set this foot right on the button. Now before I get that all lined up, I am going to sink the needle in. Now right now I can see that the needle's a little bit more to the right side right now. So on your machine, just depends on where the sequence is and where your last stitch was, that needle could be a little bit more on the left side. So whichever side it's on, we'll put that needle in that hole. So I'm lowering it down into the right hole. I'm going to just lower my presser foot in place, and I'm going to take one full swing of that stitch and just see, am I lined up? I sure am. So now I can just go ahead and stitch. I could stitch 8 or 10 stitches, and then my button is stitched in place with no problem whatsoever. Isn't that so much easier than doing it by hand? If you have button eyes that are wider apart, I mean, just adjust the stitch width, make it just go jumping side to side, and then we're just using a zigzag. Doesn't matter what the stitch length is, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to bring those feed dogs back up because I'm done sewing the button on. That easy.